Hi, good evening, ma'am. Ngasi gize another lecture series ni on the topic post-independence era ko. Akoina post-independence era har kana khangnaji it basically starts from the 1947, that is the year of India's independence ko. Sidagi horaga akoina syllabus sida chawrakna. So aduna akoina post-independence era haiba matamda akoina khangna duigi tangkak se karamba matamda hoguni har kana, that is 1947, that is the year of India's independence tagi horaga till akoina yeng this chawrakna ko post globalization era ko to yeng age are ko sida akoigi 1990s the India the BOP crisis have the balance of payment crisis la matung da tholak phangkiba ngi LPG do liberalization privatization and globalization gi era do sai fawbo yeng ani ko. So sigi post independence era se UPSC gi mains paper GS paper 1 chali akoi huji yeng si ko GS1 mains ta exclusively mentioned the post independence consolidation and reorganization of states because India after independence sigi book list ko yeng bi se NCERT gi am lai NCERT gi politics in India since independence haiba NCERT gi am lai. Now aduna yam basic oigre, so aduna akoi entire discussion se entire lecture series that would be based on the consolidation of this NCERT book and the Bipan Chandra gi India after independence to ko athabam lebani, not the freedom struggle to nate yam thabam lebani Bipan Chandra gi India after independence to sigi like ani sida yumpham warga our entire discussion will be revolved in that particular content ko si NCERT ne aduga Bipan Chandra sida recommend to the Ram Goha gi amaga lai India after Gandhi and adu su yam thai ko adu kitang ado koi amabu yeng adi yare like ahum pawu di adum content iman maneba magi opinion da katang subjectivity involved to wani, but so adune NCERT ka Bipan Chandra ani punjala yeng si. So before we start, so syllabus yan yung syllabus GS paper 1 exclusively for mains tas mani mention to post independence consolidation and reorganization within the country ko si katani palije koi GS paper 1 da ma'am yawi ko history yawi ko, and then see post independence later, and then Indian society later, and history is the art and culture lakani ko, and then we have the geography ko see geography ma see marung the post independence wall history yawi history dum chal le ko wall history ja history har kan Indian history smana periodized to an Indian history wall history, and then Indian history dum ancient medieval modern, and then face on the ko art and culture but means the ancient medieval portion yaw ke art and culture budi yaw bai wani ko. So post independence era je sidi yawe adugi syllabus sumana post independence consolidation and reorganization within the country. Now syllabus sumana yam tricky oina prelims di pande ko prelims di just Indian polity Indian economy harapan mani syllabus ta mains ta exclusively mentioned tawi but prelims ta di yaw de adubu just to check our understanding about the general socio-economic and political structure of the entire post-independent era khang na bidang the question is sometimes mine twist the way ko. Say for example in 2018 the question number swine hangi the hang is a statement in the first Lok Sabha the single largest party in the opposition was a Swatantrata Party ko, and sigi aduga communist party ki question number yawani that the first opposition in the other Communist Party Kerala elect to win. Now alugi exact statement do ngasagi Bipan Chandra gi India after independence do ade hange adubu direct athab dagi adugumba statement ama ningsang bedudi oithokte aduna, but check tawrisi akoi conceptual clarity duni ko 1951 gi election dagi hauraga till 2000 post globalization era for the India gi entire inangi social political and then economic structure ma'am do combine to boge haibagi koi da adugi understanding do check to khatane khambra. So answer budi yare se now see prelims ki question je discuss ta odam nate mains ki sine khonya aduna smine question hangi sida Bhutan and Gramdan movement hangi. Bhutan and Gramdan movement che these are basically non-violent movement iko to in land reform era da India gi Acharya Vinoba Bhave na hawdomba ma sigi matang hangbani magi critical evaluation ama magi positives and then negatives ko sigi positives ma'am lay and then limitation ma'am lay do ko yakani land reform side topic chito ko sigi se post independence ki paramani, and then next 2013 the same year does minor write a critical note on the evolution and significance of the slogan J Jawan J Kisan si je 1960s ta Prime Minister ogiba Lal Bahadur Shastri ko mana pi ki statement ni matam da India gi Indo Pakistan war ga and then akogi agricultural productivity yamna decline to matam da green revolution gi ira den adum kana mana koi national gi priority se towards the defense and agriculture sector da lai haibagi khudam amo oina si pi ki slogan ni adu gi matang hangmani just 200 watt ni and then discuss the contributions of Maulana Abul Kalam Azad ko si spectrum da Al Hilal gi founder du ni ko adu yawbani si ma gi to pre and post independent era hai aduna face anima console hai bi modern history part am su ko le ko pre independent era hai bi Indian independence phang dai mamang gi contribution si yang ani natra from mana politics sang krize right from the partition of Bengal 1905 tegi horaga man the mana outright rejection ga pi giba against the and then he stood for the Hindu Muslim unity adugumba like ma'am and then he himself being a Gandhian adumana Muslim masses me adumana national movement the draw talk ba adugumba magi contributions family aduga post independent era the man pi giba contribution ani do punsan der hangpani so this question je modern history ga post independence era ga pullaga hangmani ko aduni concept ni yeng is so and then number 4 the same year the 2013 the analyze the circumstances that led to the Tashkent agreement in 1966 ko si Tashkent agreement se hujiki Lal Bahadur Shastri magi simam se thokoni simam ming do kai have no kawre ma Lal Bahadur Shastri ko the YouTube tag da sam lakoni Tashkent agreement ni matang ni si je Tashkent agreement je si su Indo Pakistan war ge aftermath sign to gi Uzbekistan ni ko Tashkent matam tu Cold War Iraq matam ni aduna Soviet Union ke kan interfere toroga India ga Pakistan ga mediation ma purokhibu ni ko kan Uzbekistan da adugi matang ni and then fifth question same year 2013 the yambudi hangde post independence ko 2018 the question khalai 2019 the songang hangde ko next question number 5 same 2013 the hang is critically examine the compulsion which prompted India to play a decisive role in the emergence of Bangladesh ko liberation of Bangladesh ni from the West Pakistan ko sida India na low khibil role karma circumstances tagi ko sida akoi leadership of the Indira Gandhi urakani ko adumba like magi the humanitarian crisis the India gi tarakhiba adugumba mayam lai adugum gi circumstances now akoi question discuss to bunate hana just syllabus se kamaina to decode to thokani to have the previous question yenga and then hujikil direct ko sijinaraga yengbe wani and then number 6 the new economic policy in 1921 of Lenin had influenced the policies adopted by India soon after the independence evaluate siango akoina si question jong kamai khanga daga ka 1921 ki Lenin ko Soviet Union ki USSR ki matam duni chumi Russia ji socialist state amani ko chamana Nehru ki vision su on the socialist framework ta sagat paneba aduna kai da mana magi moi commune system and then akoi ki land reform system and then plan economic system under the planning commission 1951 adugu mayam mana baduni akoina examine to duse ko adum nare and then number 7 that has the formation of linguistic states strengthen the cause of Indian unity India the reorganization of states to on various factors and criteria to one socio-cultural balances adagi language as a factor and then developmental criteria siguma myam the reorganization of states myam ta yakon Indian polity lecture series ta so high 1956 the SRC act ko state reorganization commission toroga linguistic criteria the state myam semi ko then Manipur na statehood fangeba and then adu myam like adu evolution other sida question the hang is reorganization of states to on the linguistic factor the to was in India unity is strengthen to bra natraga to the bra question sida koi positive yengani ko and then negative su yengani evaluation ko sida koi Ram Guhagi adi Rajiv Kothari ki opinion lai adu hapsan gani now koi uji question discuss to roi how dungai to ko and then number 8 discuss whether the formation of new states in recent times is beneficial or not for the economy of India. In recent times, the formation of states on various criteria, on developmental criteria, and then socio-cultural criteria, and then linguistic criteria. Human mayam India economic structure, India GDP growth, kana bra natraga kana da bra having evaluation to recently 2014 daga Telangana to kandi kana yani iduni ko but that it cannot be in the long run har conclude to ni 14 the Telangana to with the on developmental criteria the na ko Andhra Pradesh te khai dokri to or the yong magi recent ranking the koina ko to chan imagi ease of doing business improvement la ko and then magi state ki oiba financial health fiscal deficit improvement la khiba adu ma me ko to chan be ko so aduna koina hujiki question and then laiba larik ani dugi the yumpham sagala koina combine topic se discuss to the kind on certain key dimensions encompassing social, political, economic, cultural, legal, international siguma dimensions me amse siguma dimensions sida kai implications kai impact lebege haibadu yengaga discuss tawni ko so aduna certain themes khara identify to bi sigi dimensions me amse cover tawna first say introduction to post independent India si just after the independence phanga matung the India gi leiba nangi social, political, economic condition to kamai tawi ko British na kamay thamamage kunatra and then the colonial legacy mogi social political economic legacy na British rule gi makhada kamay lenge the agricultural sector the manufacturing sector the service sector na kamay to bako so and then the legacy of national movement ko national freedom struggle gi obasi is just modern history ki part a brief summary in pb1 ko si sina hujik laiba India gi social political economic structure da kai mateng pang bang hablo side khangani nako hujik lai manangi keno ko se non violent movement ga se just a pre independence hangover ni na me am the opinion piri de nako thaina Gandhian techniques me am sina toije ban blockade strike ka toije and then the quotes of eminent personality sida Gopal Krishna Gokhale who was the political mentor of Mahatma Gandhi and the Muhammad Ali Jinnah himself ko moi ge dum bai quote yengani and then some foreigners ki yengani very Alvin adumba amani yengadi are GS study mathok tade but essay tadi quote option be so and then the initial years sida koi Jawaharlal Nehru ki leadership of hangani ma na kamai to kiwa and then the role of planning commission sida ni centralizing tendency ko ubangam phangrise ko and then very important the consolidation of India as a nation ko sida phase mari thongni ngani ko one consolidation of India as a nation sida phase mari thongni ngani first phase ta the integration of princely state ko nangi Junagadh integration and then Hyderabad integration and then Jammu Kashmir issue and then hadak ta Jammu Kashmir gi my special status revoked to giba do hapse lakani and then second phase the linguistic reorganization of the state ko sida koi SRC Act 1956 the creation of 14 states and 6 union territory and then mathang lakiba till Telangana 2014 later and then beyond Telangana hadak the article 370 revocation to given maram do adu historical background so hapakani sida and then integration of tribal sida north ki issue and then Naga insurgency issue sida ko just brief pointer when yorkani ko Naga insurgency issue the post independent era da budi maru ode GS paper 3 internal security da budi yawi ko but sida kamaina kogi national unity the hamper to regionalism ki tendency sagat pra is there tendency of sub-protectionism laibra adum maduni maru oise and then land reforms in India sida land tenancy land selling act and then mogi oiba fallouts memory and then introduction of the MSP minimum support price ko sina kamane agriculture growth rate the chaithing p bage and then jikta question hangiba on 13 the Budan and Gramdan movement simbatang da leidana adu yore acharya Vinoba Baba ko sida sumba yengani so aduna post independence era da koina sumana certain themes khaidoga themes siga lairiba nangi dimensions kam social political economic cultural legal international sumyam sida kai mari lena ba ga habido kano samjanna tar di koina as a complete picture oina uba phak ngamgani ko so aduna introduction da ko so India on the eve of independence, India's independence kind we need that social, political and economic transformation because later miba situation dagidi obviously mathok tabdani aduna at our hand we had two tools. One is our democratic structure. Kogi India is still poised to be one of the largest democracy in the world. Natra aduni leje we have our own democratic structure and then the socio-economic reforms of the various successive governments. Adu mamle anti-poverty programs adu mamle riko. Sida theory like rice bowl theory na so we rejected this rice bowl theory. Sigi rice bowl theory na haije kai no kan rice bowl theory na haije kai na kan in an undeveloped or a developing country amana ke dore the poor people are more interested in a bowl of rice ko democracy established the way mohta moi gi lairiba nangi socio economic structure du yeng tar ga di moi the democracy pi ba gi mohta sak tengkot am pi benen phaina sigi theory ne so India outrightly rejected this theory ko aduni hai je moide democracy pi bai kana balai te aduna mogi mabuk to than ban hena phaina adu bagi theory am pi bani ko so aduna sida
to the people of India whose representatives we are, we make appeal to join us with faith and confidence in this great adventure. This is no time for petty and destructive criticism, no time for ill will or blaming others. We have to build the noble mansion of free India where all her children may dwell.
At the stroke of the midnight hour when the world sleeps, India will awake to life and freedom ko sigi videos ye okay adubu huzik leiriba akoi gi ko videos yeng matung da okay aduna akoi da kedore leiram miba social political and economic transformation do khongdor na bagi damakta akoi da tool ani lei hare one is our democratic structure and the socio economic reforms ko of the various successive governments ko adu myam do so adubu akoi da saithing kaya dileve certain issues one is the prevailing social inequality and the huge economic disparity among the population akoi gi literacy rate yung matam da 25% males in literacy rate adu kan nupi dana 7.9% females ko the celebration gi coach ni jango sida photo diaw drama the odds are almost wholly against the survival of freedom and the issue is whether any Indian state will survive at all ko si India gi democracy established to matam yongo sida USA naga universal adult franchise period yam thingi go koi India ri ki dore just with the enactment of the constitution de koi universal adult franchise pi ba hore ko only ko na amend tor kanda chahi kun mathoi oram bado 18 years ta mo hantar ini ko sini sidasu criticism yam lagi ko celebration and then foreigners yam na pi ba noi India da survive to bang moi kholo na ko aduni so aduna akoi da lairami ba issue myam da counter tawnaba we had our own strategy first is our own constitution she spelling yes yoroi typing this thing our own constitution ko our koi constitution da kai yauge the concept of welfare state koi preamble do fangi natra and the concept of liberty equality fraternity ko and then fundamental rights the article 15 14 and then 16 natra 15 the prohibition of discrimination on grounds of religion, race, caste, sex or place of birth, and then 16 the reservation to education gi ko and then handak the EWS concept po hapakin ko so we can link to certain current affairs topic ko link to back ko despite the fact that this post independence comes under the static topic with dasu current affairs ka dynamic on link to back so fundamental rights and then DPSP directive principle of state policy and then we had a goal of egalitarian society ko for equal society ma purokna ko so and then various anti poverty programs like Indira Gandhi government matam do ukre mai garibi hatao campaign ka do ma ko mai lakini kono ko just city akoi lerami ba akoi low kiboy strategy to have one and then on the political front we had our own democracy ko and then rule of law lady and the rights of minorities article 29 the lady natra and then atopa mam like re nangi loy link to sanbiare fundamental right provision and then Gandhian principle yauba DPSP da aduga ko and then concept of positive secularism have a word here koi India gi constitution da he khorko matam de hapak de but Indira Gandhi matam da hapak kitan ko 42nd amendment 1976 da preamble da hapak kitan ko adubu hapak da taraga su hana gi lerami bo original constitution there were many features ko manung da phumjal laga yauba ma'am yawi da ko say fundamental rights they yauri and then DPSP the uniform civil court ki provision yauri under article 44 ko adumba and then economic from the yingta we have plan economic development ko sida planning commission 1951 da established to ki ko 1951 how jata marami nate because 1947 da independence phangdar so constitution chanaba horokpa du di 1949 da ni ko after 2 years and then adugo election hobo du so first election so 1951 52 da ina hobo do ko aduna ni side loi ho 1951 ni ko so aduna question the twist talk matam da prelims si akoi gi concept se fajana muna sengta ni planning commission do 1949 ri hora moi 1951 election to woni ka sumai logic um saga plan intelligent guess am thambe ko sini hai and then so public sector lady ko various public sector undertakings and then nationalization of banking sector adu habsat bai so sini akoi strategy aduna very alwin gi ko namako it is a thrilling experience to be a part of the nation that is trying against enormous odds to resave itself ko. Sida Gopal Krishna Gokhale ko, he was the political mentor of Mahatma Gandhi aduga Muhammad Ali Jinnah gisu ko. Si post independent era da haibin te mari koire legidaba natra Indiana ningtamba phangre mang legidaba mana kogi moderate nationalist kambu da mana moderate nationalist kambu da hai kibo kanon statement ni he said we can use in our essay go towards the moderate nationalist go. Now let's not forget that we are at the stage of the country in Pabiro. For hard though it be, out of those failures, the strength will come, which in the end will accomplish great tasks. Gopal Krishna Gokhale. So this was the a brief introduction on the post-independent era. Next, the colonial legacy, how the British, how the advent of the colonial rule affected the social and economic and political structure on both positive and the negative front. The legacy of national movement lani, and then 1951 they have initial years the leadership of Jawaharlal Nehru so so thank you, have a nice day.